Because turns out Spider-Man can only take like 2 bullets on the highest difficulty before he goes down. And yeah, there were a lot of things on there that I definitely shouldn't have found and definitely did. But also, like, if I had parents that would just sit down and been like, hey.
Honestly, Bad Times at the El Royale was only an okay movie, but the fact that it has wormed itself into my consciousness so heavily is unacceptable.
Welcome back to Off the Air with the only person that's ever had COVID ever. It's Noah.
Fuck you. I was coming back into that. Dan's audio crashed after we recorded for about 2 minutes, so we had to redo our intro. And Dan decided, what if we flipped the script and he talked about me having COVID instead of me talking about me having COVID?
I think it played off better. I think the audience will approve.
Ooh, see, that's the audience. They're not approving. I don't know what to tell you.
I can't believe the audience has fucking turned on me so quickly. Oh, wait, no, yes, I can. Never mind.
So, yeah. Excuse me. Jeez. So welcome to my last COVID symptom. The cough that I haven't been able to shake for the last week. I've had COVID now for 8 days. And that's about it. I got a phone call from the health department and they're like, we see that you tested positive. We just wanted to run through with you, yada, yada, yada. That way they know like what I have going on. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they did that to you when you got it, but they did that to me.
They gave me a little call. They were like, hey, did you get your COVID? Because I got my COVID shot outside of the state lines. So they didn't know that I got it. So Jersey called me many times. Was like, hey, you got that COVID shot, eh?
And you're like, I did. And they're like, sure you did.
But not the way you think.
Not where you wanted me to.
Oh, not in the method that you would have chosen, if I'm being upfront about it. But you know what? Hashtag not my problem. I turned into John Mulaney for a minute, and I don't know where that came from or why it's still happening. that was it. And I told them I thought it was because of the Rona.
And they probably agreed because New Jersey hates John Mulaney.
Mm-hmm.
Noted fact.
Notoriously.
They're like, no, thank you. Just who is it? Bruce Springsteen? No, it's not Springsteen.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Doesn't matter. Whichever music star I'm thinking of, you know who I'm talking about.
Super does not matter.
So yeah, I got the call and they ran through the list of COVID symptoms and I was able to say yes to pretty much every single one of them. And she's like, well, you have had almost every single COVID symptom. So, if it ends up getting any worse for you, please go to the doctor immediately. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But here's the kicker, right? Though I had every single symptom, most of the symptoms lasted for less than 24 hours. I lost my sense of smell on like, I don't know, Monday evening maybe. And I had and my taste. And I had my taste back by Tuesday evening. Wednesday morning, my smell was completely back. And it's just like, yo, what is this? This is kind of, it's great. Don't get me wrong. I'm very glad that I was not one of the like 1 in 100 cases or whatever that permanently loses their sense of taste or smell. Because that would literally ruin my life.
Yeah, you would actually actively cry.
No. And by the way, let me tell you that the day that I had no taste or smell was so depressing. Because
dude, it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Who was I on a call with? I think I was talking with Dave and Brian and they're like, so we've been hearing that, losing your taste and smell, that can be pretty depressing. I'm like, it is. I don't know what you want me to say. Yes. It's just pretty awful.
Yes. It's bad, actually. Taste and smell important, actually?
As it turns out. So unfortunately, that happened, but fortunately it didn't last very long. The worst part of the COVID experience, by far, has been the fact that Nina and I have not seen each other for more than a few seconds since Monday, when I officially was confirmed positive.
That does suck. I'm not gonna lie to you. It sucks. Impressed that she didn't pick it up at the same time.
I'm amazed too.
You don't have symptoms right away, kind of thing.
Yeah, honestly, Sunday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night, we were still sleeping in the same bed. And then as soon as I was
imagine sleeping in the same bed as your fucking wife. That's fucking disgusting, dude.
Exactly. Embarrassing.
Fucking, you need Jesus.
But that's the thing, like, even with that, she's still not positive. She woke up today with a little bit of a headache. She's worried about like sinus infection or something, but like that's that, dude. That like somehow Nina has managed to avoid catching this from me, and I'm dead amazed. I'm very, very pleased.
I'm very happy for you both, genuinely, because fuck that noise, frankly.
No, yeah. All I could think
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's too hot of a take, but fuck COVID.
Honestly, though, Michelle messaged me over Instagram when I was just like keeping everyone in the loop, and she's like, "Oh no, you're getting tested?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "What are your symptoms?" And I told her what they were at the time. She's like, "I feel like those aren't your normal COVID symptoms, so I'm hoping you're fine." Well, as it turns out, she was incorrect. They were they were normal COVID symptoms.
Wild.
But here we are. And for the last 2 days, I have felt completely fine outside of this dumb cough. And I'm just counting myself super lucky.
Yeah, as you should, frankly.
Because I know people that this laid up for weeks. You, for example, we're not doing too hot.
Yeah. For a solid like week and a half, 2 weeks almost. It was bad. No good, very bad times.
And
bad times at the Dan Royale, if you will.
You know what? I will. Honestly, Bad Times at the El Royale was only an okay movie, but the fact that it has wormed itself into my consciousness so heavily is unacceptable.
I like it, Bad Times at the El Royale.
I think it's fine, but it has no right occupying as much brain space as it does.
You know what? That's actually very fair. Whose movie is that? Drew Goddard. Who the fuck is Drew Goddard?
He's the guy that made Bad Times at the El Royale.
Oh, shit. He also created... Oh! Huh. He also did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Alias, Lost, and created the Netflix superhero series Daredevil.
Oh.
So he actually is he also made the official visual companion for Cabin in the Woods, apparently. Oh, he did Cabin in the Woods. That's why. He co-wrote it with Joss Whedon. He did World War Z.
Fuck Joss Whedon. But
yes.
Everything else, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so he actually did he also did The Martian. So like he has a quite like not a he also did Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield. Why do I know this man? Why is this man sticking out in my brain?
Man, it seems like he's just done a lot of very popular movies.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
Is it not? I feel like it is.
He's the other one that did, because I know I think of Dan Trachtenberg as the guy from 10 Cloverfield Lane, because he's the one that did he went to Temple, but two, he's from Philly and did his short film. He did a short film called Portal No Escape, which was really fucking good. Oh, he also directed the series premiere episode of The Boys. Neat. Anyway,
he just seems incredibly prolific.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, I don't follow a lot of directors, but then I'm like, oh, that's right, this person did this thing, and I get very excited. And that's basically what it comes down to.
There we go.
So anyway, how you doing? How you doing, Noah?
Not bad. Not bad at all. Did you hear about Lil Nas?
That he ripped his pants on live TV?
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Actually, fun fact, Michelle and I were just watching that before, because we skipped last week for obvious reasons.
Super valid.
we decided we were gonna watch this week because I'm like, fuck yeah, Lil Nas is great, and so is fucking what's her name, whose name I'm suddenly blanking on and cannot remember. And yeah, no, 100% was very. I feel bad because like there's a very clear moment that you can see in the fucking thing where he realizes it and just gets this fucking not quite panicked look, but very oh fuck, now what do I do look.
So
and it's very funny.
I would like to float the theory that Nina has thrown to me. He did it on purpose. This is staged. Now hear me out before you say no.
Okay.
Her first thing, which doesn't fully sell me, is why would he perform on SNL and not wear underwear? To which I would say, well, he's Lil Nas.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
As I'm 100%.
That doesn't shock me at all.
I
However,
didn't see anything that said he didn't wear underwear.
well, that is the primary reason he would be covering up. You know.
Well, no. If you rip your pants, you cover up. I'm not gonna back that at all. Like if I'm wearing underwear and I rip my pants on live TV, I'm still covering it.
Still,
But go on.
so the follow-up is the fact that he's just he's a meme lord who constantly does things, and all of his stuff has been crazy marketing smart, right? Like when he was tweeting constantly, hey, Montero's getting pulled from all streaming platforms, better listen to it while you can. And it was very blown out of proportion. It was actually just getting pulled from certain countries. His primary listener base in the US, unaffected, still spammed the song to death, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think on one hand, possibly. I also feel like Lil Nas is a very specific. Yes, he's a meme lord, right?
Mm-hmm.
But unlike Elon, who is a meme lord and a monster for it because he's abusing his power and his status and like marketing to specific people because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had the feeling, just from like interviews, from everything, that Lil Nas is just genuine about it, and I feel like the fact that he like has said multiple times that it wasn't intentional makes me want to believe that it wasn't. I mean, that's just I'm a fanboy. Like, frankly, I am.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I genuinely feel like there's generalized Lil Nas, and then there's the expression he makes the second it happens, and the sheer pain that runs across his face, and I don't think it was intentional. I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if it was, but I just don't. Isn't the thing I would have thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Also, side note, I know you didn't watch his latest news video because why would you? Sun Goes Down came out. It's fine. It's actually my least favorite.
Why would I not have done that?
I didn't know if you'd gotten around to seeing it yet.
I haven't yet, but also I watched all his other music videos within a week of them coming out. So like, there's no reason for me to have not seen it.
I just assumed that you hadn't seen it yet because it came out like yesterday or day before yesterday.
Yeah, it's just the fact that you said there's no reason for you to have seen it, as if I know a known Lil Nas X hater.
I don't know. I just didn't think you'd seen it yet. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Don't slander me in my own house, Dan. Don't you dare. But as you were saying,
it came out. I think it might be my second least favorite so far.
I've heard that it's super emotional and has made a lot of people cry. So
I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. It didn't feel more emotional to me than Montero. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Personally, there are a couple of things that are really sad in it and that are genuinely like heartbreaking. But I don't know. For the most part, it was just my least favorite, and that's okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it would be very funny that if he had done it for clout. I think that would have been.
I don't think it's out of character. I
don't think it's completely out of character. I think that he would have owned it, though.
I don't know that he would. I think the best way to own it for clout is to play it off like a mistake. Because if he did it on purpose, now he's weird. Now he's that pervert that tried to rip his pants on live TV. You know?
That's fair.
Gotta play it careful, you see.
All right, I'm gonna rat her out. Michelle just came in here to steal some paper towels and is trying so hard to be silent and failing so miserably.
Why would you do that to her?
Bye, Michelle. I love you. Because she was giving me the biggest like guilty look, like, oh, don't do it, don't rat me out, and I had to do it to him.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It was an okay music video. It was a fun performance. Very gay. I like looking. Michelle mentioned it, that looking from his like what his performance was this time on SNL to when he did Old Town Road, and oh boy,
Oh yeah,
I'm glad that he's so much more like willing to put all that out there. And also, it's wild.
It's nice that he's actually
though.
like enjoying himself now and existing as who he is, rather than having to live up to a non-self-appointed kids artist.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's a whole nother conversation. I have angry opinions about that on both sides.
I'm interested in hearing, because I've got a lot of opinions about that as well, for being honest.
I mean, my TLDR is that he's right. On one hand, yes. So context for people who don't know, he was on an interview, it was a couple months ago now, where he said something to the effect of, where someone was like, oh, why the fuck have you done that? Or maybe it was on Twitter, whatever. Someone was like, why would you put this out? My kids cared about you. My kids loved you. Why would you do this? And he's like, bruh, it's not my fucking job to parent your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not my job. I literally talk about adultery and sex in Old Town Road. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
And on one hand, 100% agree. And then everyone was like, well, but he said this other time that my primary market is children. And I think there's a difference between knowing who your primary
there's a difference
are.
Knowing who your listener base is and knowing who you're catering to.
Exactly. He's not catering to kids.
He did shows for kids before. Like, that was not, we're not going to pretend that that's not something he did.
Yeah, however, absolutely. And I think that's not, so like, you could say that about any major artist, right?
Well, here's the thing too. I really, really feel like the people that have issue are people that have heard Old Town Road and then ignored everything he did until
before
Call Me
and
by
after.
Your Name.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, there were plenty of music videos that are not exactly chill for kids, in either for one reason or another, not the least of which just being that they're just a little
blast, but it's not for kids.
No, it's not for kids at all. And it's like, he already was very clearly doing his own thing for quite a while at that point. There is no reason for people to have been all like, I can't believe he chose this time to ruin our America's youth. And it's like, dude, shut up. Just shut up.
And it's like, I can get fucked, nerds.
And I got the same issue with people who hate on Miley Cyrus, because God forbid she started out as a Disney star and then had to radically move away from that so that people would take her seriously. Because I mean, look at freaking Jake and Logan Paul are great examples of people like, because what do you call Logan messed up, owned that he messed up, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he's any sort of like role model. However,
no, but he's much better.
He's by far my favorite Paul brother, because he's actually out here. He's condemning what Jake is doing, and he's like, I'm really trying. I've had a lot of wake up calls, and I'm trying to get my shit together. I don't care if he's lying. He's at least visibly doing these things, right? Whereas Jake has not changed his content style ever. He's always making things that are clearly geared toward children. And it's not cool the way he's doing it, like it's just a whole mess. And I really do appreciate the fact that his brother at least is trying to own what he's done and what he's done wrong. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It shows a certain level of awareness and growth.
Exactly.
And even if you don't approve of what they are doing still, you can recognize that, hey, you're growing as a human being. And I am always a fan of people growing as human beings.
Exactly.
You should never talk shit on somebody for trying to be better.
And to flip it back to Miley and Lil Nas X, Miley had to go out and release Wrecking Ball and whatever album came after, because I don't think Wrecking Ball was the album name, but I don't remember. But she had to release a few albums of her being this wild party animal before she could actually go back to doing what she wanted to do, which is her, what do you call, like classic rock sounding stuff. Like what she's doing now is clearly the direction she wanted to move more, but she would never have been able to get to this point if she had been stuck being a Disney star.
Yes.
So obviously Lil Nas had to make a big statement at some point where he's just like, hey, I'm not making music for your kids. even though,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you were smart, you would have seen that a while ago. He just happened to pole dance on the devil for this one. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh no, it was just a little more blatant than Holiday, you know?
I really appreciated the number of memes that came out of it that were just, well, fuck, dude, you want him to pull dance on God? Would that make it better?
Honestly,
Which, mwah, chef's kiss.
it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's just a mess. If you're going to pick a fight with it, then you're going to pick a fight. Just leave the dude alone. But yeah, I'm very much in the you got to parent your own kids camp, because I am back when I was at the barbershop, my least favorite thing to hear about was parents who are like, "Oh, you just don't know what kids are watching anymore." I'm like, "But you do. You can know. You can limit their online activity." I didn't have freaking unlimited computer time till I graduated high school. I know that that's not like practical by any means anymore.
Well, and it also is, I think you don't even have to limit the computer time. I think you can just sit down and talk to your kid about it. Like, well, right? Like,
but I need to put up a big barrier here. These are parents of kids who are like 3 years old, who are letting them have unlimited computer time, unlimited tablet time. Anything that they want to do, they're able to do. Kids
are so much smarter than people give them credit for. I think even at like 3 to 5, you can start implanting in explaining that the internet is not a real, like, it's not real. It's all fake. Like, that is plenty old enough to start trying to build that up, because that way when your kid hits like 15 and does have complete, like, it is able to just fuck, because like your kid gets what, unlimited computer access at 3, you're not going to reduce their access by the time they hit like 12. And like, let's go for like an extreme example, fucking kids are going to look at porn. You can start explaining at any age before that, hey, the internet isn't real, and there are a lot of things on the internet that aren't great for you, but we should talk about them anyway, because that's what the responsible.
Why do you keep saying the internet isn't real? I'm getting real caught up on that sentence.
Sorry, the things on the internet aren't real. Like the internet is, like, the internet culture, I guess, internet content is constructed, I guess would be the better way to say that. Like, what happens on the internet isn't always the same thing as what happens in real life, I guess. I don't know a better way to phrase that. It was more of an all-encompassing idea.
I think what you said then makes a lot more sense, because I'm sitting here like, the internet is very real and everything on the internet is very real, but social constructs from the internet,
there we go,
and things like that, no, that's fine then. That's fine. That makes a little bit more sense.
And I think you can give your, like, not to like, oh, I turned out fine. I had very unlimited internet access from the age of like 12 onward. And yeah, there were a lot of things on there that I definitely shouldn't have found, and definitely did. But also, like, if I had parents that would just sit down and been like, hey, you probably shouldn't do this, and here's the reasons why.
See, I'll agree with you.
That would have been a massive shift from just this bad.
I really do think that there is an age that like makes sense to talk about, and I feel like 3 to 5 is too young for that. I feel like that's a better time to be talking about in world things that are very tangible, and it's like, hey, learn these things. And you can even use computers to teach kids stuff, but like you can't sit a kid down in front of a tablet and have that be their freaking parent. The number of kids that wouldn't sit still for a haircut unless they were watching TV. Now, I don't think that there's a problem with kids watching shows geared toward kids. I don't think that that's an issue. However, for whatever reason, parents would come in, and it's so clear that anytime the kid, like, they wanted the kid to do anything, they just let them like watch something for as long as they felt like. It was so painfully obvious, because then they'd come in and the kid did not want to get a haircut, but it was also pretty clear that the parents just kind of let the kids do whatever they wanted at home. But for some reason, they would put up this front when they were out getting a haircut that was like, oh, no, sorry, Tommy, you have to sit for your haircut. And then they would apologize to me the whole time that this kid's throwing in an absolute tantrum saying, I don't know, he just doesn't sit well. And sometimes they'd pull out a phone and we'd watch Paw Patrol or whatever tractor show that this one kid loved to watch, which was basically like Thomas the Tugboat with a tractor.
Thomas the Tugboat, yes. That's the name of the character.
There's I don't Theodore. I'm sorry, Theodore the Tugboat.
Thank you. How dare you?
Sorry, I got
Keep his
Thomas the
name out your
Tank
mouth.
Engine and Theodore the Tugboat confused.
Keep his name out your mouth.
I watched a decent amount of both. Get off my case. It's been
Apparently
a long
not
time.
enough. It's been.
But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's very simple. Just parent your kids.
Mm-hmm. And content
Like,
monitoring is not as hard as people make it out to be.
No, not at all. Not even. Not by up.
If you are not technically knowledgeable enough to know how to lock devices into a child mode,
you should,
so that your kid can't disable it, then that's a problem. If you are not technologically capable of knowing that, hey, there's a lot of dangerous stuff on this iPad that my kid is 2 taps away from accessing if I'm not careful, then you don't do that. The number of people who are like, oh yeah, my kid was playing his game and then he accidentally bought $300 worth of credits. And it's like, dude, what? How?
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason that should ever happen.
Never. I don't know.
It's almost like some of your problems are your fault.
That's the nice thing about having like a family computer in the family space where you can have games that you paid for and they can't buy more things installed on it.
Yeah, dude.
Not that hard to do. Rather than trying to keep your kids happy with the free games that you keep downloading, if you pay $2 for a game, I know I was thrilled over the course of my childhood with a great many games that we paid very little money for.
True fact.
Let's see. I was a really big fan of, what was it? It was the Blank Grade Adventures, all those games, which are just like math and like English games. But I would get those from the library all the time, play them as much as I possibly could, and then we'd return them, and then I'd get them back in a few weeks, and I'd try to do more. And I wasn't good at most of them. I was definitely over here like 9 years old trying to beat the 6th grade adventure game, but like, you know, you do what you can.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I got nothing. I don't understand why it's so hard for people.
I don't know. It is super frustrating to me, though. But also, to what you said, you do need to educate your kids earlier than you think you do, because we are in an online world, and intentionally keeping your kids from knowing what computers are is going to set them back. Not even in the long term. It'll keep them back in the short term. I used to work with a guy who didn't know the shortcut to copy paste,
which is insane, by the way.
And like he would click and drag to select something. He would right click, he would click copy, and then he'd go and he'd click paste. And I'm like, there's a lot faster way to do that. And he's like, sorry, I don't spend all my time on computers. And this kid was like the same age as me.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is I feel like there's a weird like the sorry I'm not a fucking nerd like stereotype has never gone away completely,
No, shockingly enough, it has remained very, very prominent for some reason among certain people.
Yeah. I don't know why.
It's just like, yo, this is the direction that the world is moving. Why?
Yeah, this is the way the world is. You adapt or die. Like, is that being overly like dismissive of people's experiences? Yeah, sure, but also adapt or die. Like, world isn't what you want it to be anymore. And that's okay. It shouldn't be.
I don't know. I don't know. Change is scary. I get it. Have fun with scary change, but scary change is not going anywhere, and it is really important that you make sure you're at least aware of the change that's coming. And because I know we're going to hit a point probably in the pretty close future where I'm going to stop being able to keep up with all the things that are changing, because things are changing really, really quickly.
Oh yeah, I've already been like, well, I'll do my best, but my best isn't always going to be good enough.
Exactly. I'm really glad that I ended up actually getting onto TikTok so I can like prolong my suffering phase of being
it's literally
painfully out of touch.
I'm literally staring at TikTok, and every time I'm like, maybe I should just bite the bullet, and then I'm like, but I don't wanna.
It's a pretty big time sink, so like,
yeah.
But it is what it is. Everyone's gonna find different things that are things that they can be like, hey, I can get into this, and try to keep up with what's going on. And keeping up with the memes by downloading TikTok, not exactly the most like constructive thing I could have done, but it's a different social media. And I know that if I just hang out, I mean, Twitter's talking about charging a premium for some of its services. If Twitter starts charging me money to be on Twitter, I'm not going to be on Twitter,
No, full stop. Yeah, that's like, ridiculous. There's no way.
And I'm not going back to Facebook. I hate almost every single person on my Facebook. I only use it for like the bare minimum stuff and work. I use it for work more than I have used it personally since I started work, Yeah.
I think that's a totally reasonable thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have, I'm not considering pretend like I have the answers, but also like the world evolves and we, again, adapt or die. But anyway, enough being old men talking about old men shit on the internet. Noah, how's your week been besides the COVID stuff? What you been up to?
Do you want the embarrassing answer or a deflecting answer?
You know that all I care about is the embarrassing answer. Why would you even ask?
Okay, so I bought Mass Effect Legendary Edition on
oh no. I bought it where this is going.
Like last week, I want to say, so that I could have it on hand as my next stream game. I started playing it on Monday. I would like you to guess how many hours I have put into the Mass Effect Legendary Edition since Monday. So that's, for those counting, that is 7 days.
36.
More.
62.
Less. But not by much. It's 58. I've put 58 hours into this game.
In a week.
Dan, I'm telling you this right now. If I had not had to work this morning, I would have finished Mass Effect 2 before we started recording.
That's rough, buddy.
I have finished Mass Effect 1 and almost all the side missions. I think I lost like 3 of them by accident. And I've finished Mass Effect 2. And this is with me putting in painful amounts of time doing boring shit like, you know how you have to probe planets for resources and how slow that is?
Yeah.
That was with me doing all the planets in the starting galaxy chunk, like before it expands to more areas as the game progresses.
Oh, buddy.
I looted every single planet because I'm like, well, I want to get this stuff done and I want to make sure that I actually can have fun on stream rather than having people watch me probe planets. So I probed like 60 or 70 planets. And now here we are, and I've just given up on that. But, yeah, I have the Collector Rescue mission coming up as soon as I do Legion's Loyalty mission. Like, we're literally talking a matter of me finishing this game in the next 3 hours. And then I have Mass Effect 3.
That's rough,
and then I'm going to start it all over again and do a Paragon playthrough because this is my first Renegade playthrough, and I still didn't play it clean. But it is what it is.
You can only be so clean.
Well, here's the thing. Some of the choices are actually really rough. And the only reason I did certain things was because I knew they had effects in Mass Effect 3 that positively helped me. So like, the Rachni Queen in Mass Effect 1?
Sure.
The Renegade option is to kill the Rachni Queen. Super straightforward. You get to just, by golly, commit genocide again. Because the Rachni
here I go committing genocide again.
The Rachni had been wiped from the galaxy once, and you get to do it all over again if you want to. And I'm like, well, no, this will help me in Mass Effect 3. I will not do this. This will be my one like non-true Renegade like plot point. And then there's another one in Mass Effect 2, which is this really uncomfortable subplot. I think it's a DLC because I've never seen it before. That was a guy plugged his autistic brother into a computer because he's like, oh, he's good at math. He's basically a computer already. He can talk to the Geth. It's great. And that was super, super uncomfortable.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, it really shows when the game came out where we were. And I did not like that.
That's a big yikes. I don't even remember that.
No, yeah. That's a DLC I have never seen, and I will never play in a different way than the way I played it. I cannot imagine not freeing the brother,
Yeah.
if there's an achievement for doing it the other way, then I'll probably save before the choice, make the choice, and then go back. But I can't imagine there's an achievement for going both ways. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have maxed out my renegade meter, so I'm starting to do good things so I can max out both sides and just go into the next game like, hey, here we go.
Amazing. I'm gonna claim. I'm gonna say it publicly.
I'm gonna listen to this claim.
I have no interest in playing Mass Effect again.
Really?
None.
May I ask why?
I enjoyed my playthrough the first time. I truly did. I genuinely really enjoyed it. I just don't care to experience it again. I don't remember that. I don't have such fond memories of the game that like I really want to try it a second time. Because I finished Mass Effect, like the first ones. Like I beat 1 and 2, and I did like the first couple, like an hour or two on 3.
That's about the right way to play 3, in my opinion.
I did a few hours, and I'm like, I don't care about this anymore, and then stopped.
No,
like,
Mass
that's really
Effect
what
3
happened.
is bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel almost bad about it, right? Because I know Mass Effect is a wildly popular game. And I know that like people love themselves some Mass Effects, and I just can't bring myself to care about it. And I feel bad for that on some level, because I want to be able to experience it alongside my friends and like be like, yes, I too am a shepherd. But I enjoyed it once. I enjoyed it the first time I played it, and I just don't really want to do it again. I mean, we've talked about me not really doing a lot of playthroughs, like second playthroughs on video games anyway. Although we are talking about doing, because we're idiots, we are talking about doing a second playthrough of
Saints
of
Row
a certain other
3
game.
is a national treasure. It's a piece
one
of
of those games that
trash, but it's a national treasure.
It's one of those games where the core gameplay loop is what carries it, and like who gives a shit about the story. Whereas I think Mass Effect is the opposite.
I feel like the gameplay for Mass Effect 2 is pretty good. I think Mass Effect 3 is a little bit rough. I'm not going to pretend. Or Mass Effect 1, I mean.
Old. Yeah.
But honestly, they did clean up a lot of stuff in the remaster.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's just a lot better. Like full stop across the board, just better. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I will. Again, I'm sure I will end up playing it at some point. But it definitely is something that it's gonna be a while before I do.
Yeah, one thing that I will tell you though that is almost worth it for Mass Effect Remaster. You go through and you see some of the in-game rendered cutscenes. They did not update those. There are some that they did not take the time to clean up, and it is very obvious.
That's rough. I'm not gonna lie to you.
There are some moments where, I mean, because obviously I killed Ashley in Mass Effect 1. She's a space racist, and I don't care that she gets some sort of redemption arc in 3. She can't get a redemption arc in 3 if she's dead and I picked the objectively better person to be on my team, you know? But there's some cutscene that flashes back to her, and it shows her in her OG Mass Effect 1 glory.
Oh no.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks awful. I just played through
Why does she look so bad?
I mean, like everything was at least everything was brought up to speed with the character creator from Andromeda, I want to say. So everyone looks pretty good because Andromeda didn't come out that long ago. So we have like some nice looking people in this game. Some of them have crossed eyes, and I don't know why. I guess that was an Andromeda problem, I guess.
It's very, very, very
but
good.
But let me tell you, Thumb Shepherd looks like a thumb, and I love it. He's my favorite.
Thumb Shep.
Thumb Shep.
Favorite variation.
Thumb Shep, best Shep. All I'm saying.
Thumb Shep may be best Shep. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
But anyway, I don't know. What happened to you this week, Dan? You have anything cool that happened to you? Because I mean, I played a whole lot of.
You played so much.
I played a whole lot of Mass Effect, and that is. I've also watched an awful lot of Hollow Knight speedrunning.
Bold choice. Okay.
Honestly, I've been getting into speedruns a lot recently. I don't know if that's something
weird game choice to do it for.
Well, that's the thing. Like, because one of the game achievements is speed run, beat it in 10 hours. And I'm like, okay. And then there's another one that's like beat it in 5 hours or something like that, right?
My favorite thing in the world is seeing like, this is a speed run that I can almost get behind. And then you see the next like tier of it and you're like, I don't know how somebody does that.
You know what the current world record is, Dan?
2.5 minutes.
No.
15 minutes.
Okay. Oh, well, let me clarify. The most popular Hollow Knight speed run category is any percent low, like no major glitches.
Oh wow.
And the current world record, where the game thinks that it will take to finish the game a speed run of 5 hours, is an achievement that is very worth like putting up there, which I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I agree. It brings that up as its main thing. What I will point out, though, is that the current world record is 32 minutes, any percentage completion.
That's
and Dan,
bonkers.
Let me tell you, watching people move through this game
at that speed is upsetting and
it's
horrifying.
So amazingly cool. Also, because they're doing tricks that I simply don't know how to do. Like there's some walls that they're able to grab onto, and they do what they call the acid skip, where they are fully submerged, in my eyes, in acid enough to die. Yet somehow,
quite,
according to the game, they are just above the acid level enough that they can crystal dash across the acid and make it into areas that they are not able to get to without like the acid repelling item. Which is just dead insane to me.
Badass cool bonkers.
Also, I am still very happy that the game has 112% completion is the peak completion.
That's very good.
Isn't it great? The reason I think
love that.
They had 100% completion as an option, and then they added 2 major content packs, and instead of adjusting game completion like, you know, Payday with its infinite number of freaking achievements, where if you didn't play the game back when it first came out, you're never going to get that complete all achievements achievement at this point, you know?
Because we live in a society, frankly.
How are you supposed to keep up with how many achievements they put out? It's insane. But unlike that,
I don't think you are.
Huh?
I don't know that you are.
Well, that's the thing. It's still an achievement, and it's becoming harder and harder to get. You know? True. But this game was just like, it looks like there's 112% of the game to finish then, isn't there? Finger gun.
I like that. I actually think it's the way you should do it, if I'm being honest.
I think it's pretty great. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very into Hollow Knight right now. I'm thinking about starting up a new playthrough that is just for stream.
Do it.
And going through it that way. But we'll see.
Do it, you won't.
Shoot, dude, I just might.
I don't think so.
I would, you won't. If I do it, I am gonna try for the 10-hour speed run, because I mean, why not? It can't be that hard.
Yeah, I mean, you're going well.
It can't. Let me rephrase. I'm watching people do it in 30 minutes, and they are incredibly talented. Now, if I don't have to do some of the things they do, and I have the route mapped out, I could do the 10-hour speed run. I'm safely
as long as
could do the 10-hour speed run.
You just can't waste time.
I don't even think it's a can't waste time. I think I could still waste time in a 10-hour speed run. I think the 5-hour speed run, I would need to make sure I don't waste time. But
sure. I wonder how many deaths that affords you. Like, how many times are you able to die on a 10-hour speed run before you've completely cucked yourself out of a victory?
That's a great question. I mean, Steel Soul exists, and if you die in Steel Soul, you lose.
That's wild.
There's an achievement for completing 100% game completion in Steel Soul mode, which has to be dead difficult.
Yeah, that sounds like awful. I I didn't start, speaking of dead difficult, I dicked around yesterday. That was my because you mentioned 2 streams. We were recording on a Sunday. On Saturday, I did a little Spider-Man stream. Little Spider-Man stream on the hardest difficulty. The one that unlocks after you get it's essentially the New Game Plus difficulty is what it's supposed to be used for, but I did it as a not that. I did it as a I'm starting a fresh save on the highest difficulty because I am what is commonly referred to as a fucking fool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I expected it to be difficult. I didn't expect to be, oh, this game is going to completely pick me up and hand me my own ass difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I'm gonna make a claim here. I don't think I'm very bad at Spider-Man at all. I think I'm actually, one might even call me pretty good at Spider-Man.
I mean, from what I was watching,
right
you were doing a
man.
whole lot of things that I would never have known to do. I heard that joke. You slipped in there delicately. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. But yeah, I was having a blast with it, but I just kept getting completely rinsed by like schmucks, Noah.
Unfortunate.
Because turns out Spider-Man can only take like 2 bullets on the highest difficulty before he goes down.
God forbid he has normal human hits.
Exactly. How dare he fucking just vibe there? No, well, the other thing is he can only take 2 fucking whacks in the back of the head, but from a dude with a crowbar, which is actually the more upsetting one. Yeah, it's been fun. I really do. It makes me wish I had a PS5 just to play through this on a PS5 instead. Because I know it's just going to be better, like factually just going to be better. But yeah, I don't know. Good times. What else happened? Oh, the thing I was going to actually talk about. As many of you know, I have been on the job hunt for so goddamn long, like 6 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I got a job. The reason I wasn't here last week is because I finally got a gainful employment.
We already
you guys,
told
I'm not
everybody.
gonna. I assume so. I'm not gonna lie to you. This job is fucking great. Like I'm gonna flex on the haters for a second. In my interview, they talked to me. They got, first of all, they asked about my Twitch stream in my interview because I mentioned, they were like, "Oh, what's your hobbies?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, I do some streaming now and again." I didn't mention the podcast because I say a lot more heinous shit here than I do on stream.
Yeah, it's best to keep that tidy.
Yeah, I mean, they'll eventually find out about it, I'm sure, but I want to be secure enough I want to be in a spot where they aren't going to be like, "Wow, I can't believe you said that. Get out of here." That's not true. I haven't said that. I haven't said anything that I think is a fireable offense on the podcast, probably.
I mean, you've never said anything about work, so.
Yeah, I try not to. But yeah, it's been great. Everyone's very cool. They talk about video games. Fucking. The only thing that is not driving me nuts, but is very funny and kind of something that continues to come up, is that some of my coworkers are very into crypto, and so I get for the longest time I've been out of the loop on that intentionally because it just makes me sad and angry, and I'm like,
what, you don't like fake money, Dan? You don't like money that isn't actually real, and people losing their entire like family and mortgage over fake money?
I don't believe in gambling. Is basically what I keep telling people, is that I don't, not that I don't, I used to keep saying don't believe in gambling because I think that is much like saying the internet isn't real enough to get the idea across. But yeah, no, I just tell them, you know, I don't gamble, which is fine. They're not questioning me on that, but I mean, that's what it is. Like, but all of them that have mentioned it are like, yeah, no, that it's gambling. Like, if you're not willing to lose the money, don't do it. Which is, in my opinion, the best way to have somebody be deeply into crypto, is to just be aware that this is terrible and stupid and you shouldn't do it if you can help it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's very cool. The story I really want to tell. So I had my first round of interviews last Saturday. So Saturday before this a week ago, or last Friday, a week from 2 days ago. They pulled me in on that Monday for what was supposed to be my second round interview. And apparently really fucking needed hands on deck to the point where I didn't make it out. Like, I was on my way out the door and the CEO and the CFO come out of a different meeting and essentially like, "Hey, do you have anywhere you have to be?" And I'm like, "No, you know, I'm not doing anything because it's a Monday afternoon and I'm in New York City. I was going to go wander around." And they're like, "Cool. If you go get set up, we can just do this, knock this out of the way right now." I go back in, I sit down, I get my little a surprise third round interview.
Mm-hmm.
And then we roll into I make it home. I'm like, "Damn, Michelle, I really hope it went well." I go take a little nap because it's been a very long, stressful day. When I wake up, I have an offer letter sitting in my email. So from first interview to offer letter was like 12, like 8 business hours. And then I couldn't start the Tuesday, but I started that Wednesday. So from initial contact to in the building first day of work was like 2.5 business days, which is hog wild, first of all.
No, that is dead.
Second
insane.
of all, tells me both that they needed help and that I was like, not, I don't want to, I'm going to try to avoid saying names. But like, I fit perfectly for this position. Like this position might as well have been made for me. Right. It was a very much it fit all of my what I needed. I fit all of what they needed. Like it just worked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fucking phenomenal. Everything is going great so far. I am having a great time. My first day was training. My second day, which would have been last Thursday, so it would have been 2 weeks ago, whatever, last Thursday. So they were doing a work event, a little, every now, apparently it's a very rare thing, but they were like, hey, we happen to have a work event going on. And what we did was a potion making class, quote unquote, which is A, some nerd shit, but B, there's a place in the financial district in New York called the Cauldron. And what they do is on their second, their specific thing is that they're very like fantasy, like it's very fantasy themed, very like nerdy.
Mm-hmm.
This little potion making thing was a like couple of hours, and basically they bring over a bunch of shit in like little vials and in vials and like various different bits and bobs and props essentially. Slap them on your table and give you a little spell book to read out of that tells you how to fucking mix and match.
Fantastic.
And you mix your own little cocktail in front of yourself. All of them, not all of them, but both of the ones that we had were very cool. I have pictures. I should have posted them on Insta, but whatever. A lot of them have like a lot of their drinks and all of their shots actually have dry ice in the bottom of them so that they all bubble and smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And just very thematically cool. Now, that was cool enough, and it was very cool of them to invite me considering it was literally my second day on the job. What was wild was we go out for drinks. We're all feeling pretty good by the time this is over. They're heavy drinks and you get like 3 of them. So like you're feeling good by the end, especially if you haven't eaten that much. We go down. On our way in, we notice we're kind of laughing to ourselves, like, "Hey, look, it's what was it? Drag bingo, I think is what it was going on the bottom floor." And so we're finishing up our drinks. We're like, "Guys, what are we doing next?" And some people are like, "Oh, you want to go over to Koreatown to do some karaoke?" Because apparently there's a lot of great karaoke places. Somebody was like, "I know a club, but I don't think we can get in collectively." And I'm like, "Guys, we're overthinking this. Let's just go downstairs and do drag bingo." And smash cut to 20 minutes later when one of my coworkers is being, I don't want to say harassed because that's not really what it is, right? It's part of the performance, it's part of the game,
mm-hmm.
right? Is being harangued by a bunch of drag queens because he is fine as hell. And we're all just laughing and having a great time at a unexpected drag show.
There you go.
Just a blast. Absolute joy. Great time, great people, great gig. I am very happy with this, and it is that's a piece of good news. It's been amazing so far. I'm hoping that I'm finally about to be insured again for the first time in like well over a year, which is awesome. I'm very excited for that. I'm gonna be able to not fuck it. I'm gonna go to a doctor finally. It's just good. It's just a very good like event in my life, and I'm very, very happy about it. I feel very lucky and very, very happy that I was lucky enough to get this gig.
I'm really happy for you too. This really just seems like a really solid job, especially with the brief interaction I got to witness when they popped into your stream.
Yeah, they popped in my stream the day before I was on Tuesday night, the day before I started officially. They popped in and were like, "Hey, what's up? It's your coworkers. Hey, it's me, your coworker."
At coworker, do you hear this? Absurd.
Basically, it's just good. It's just very, very good, and everyone is, like I said, everyone is just super cool. It's a pretty small company. It's not quite. It's in that midpoint between startup and actual company. So while it still has big startup vibes, it technically isn't a startup anymore. Yeah, just very cool. Just very, very, very cool.
Nice.
Very happy. Feel very lucky. Feel very, at the risk of being like, hashtag blessed, but also genuinely feel very blessed about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you how much I needed this break.
I think
All
you
that
are
said,
very entitled to having had a break in this regard.
That said, whoo boy, am I working my ass off right now. Just sheer amount of, I have so much that I have to do, like getting in and out of the city, like just day to day. Whoo boy, am I tired. But like I said, very good. Good life, good times. Good times at the El Royale. Ooh. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Yeah, and that's why I wasn't here last week. And that is why my stream schedule is shot to shit. That is why a lot of things, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just, there's so much going on and I just don't have enough time. I just don't have time. I'm just so busy.
Oh, well, it do be like it is, though.
Some people don't think it be like it is.
'Tis frustrating, but hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my piece of good news. Good gob. Good gob. Noah.
Good gob. Good gob.
Dude, good gob. Good gabagool. Oh my god, the amount of good food I've eaten in New York, and I've only been there 2 weeks, dude. I'm gonna get so fucking fat. I'm gonna get so fat.
I'm incredibly jealous. I need you to know that.
No, I've eaten so much fucking good food. I like, it's not cheap, right? I spent $15 on like a single like entree at like a hole in the wall shop. So like, it's not cheap, but god.
Yeah, we got takeout pizza from a new pizza place that shoved a flyer in our door, and when I called with their flyer in my hand, they said they had just changed their prices. So that's how my new food experience is going.
Just change my price. Your price is my ass.
No, the guy's like, "Oh yeah, we don't do that anymore. Sorry, I'm paying $125 a case for wings right now." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Tell you what, I got a coupon here. I can give you the same deal for 27 instead of like 26." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine. That's not that different though. You know that, right?"
Yeah, of course.
But I'm reasonably pleased. It was a pizza with a full half-inch of cheese on top, which is excessive as hell. It's all mozzarella, and the sauce is very, very good. I did like it, but the cheese was far too thick, and I will buy it from them again.
That's objectively too much cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's even a hot take. I think it's just a fact. It's too much cheese.
Mm-hmm. No. Straight up fact. Far too much cheese. But I was still quite pleased.
Nice. I'm glad, frankly. I'm glad that you were pleased, because I would have been like, bruh, this is too much cheese. You can't just come in here with like, you can't come in here and give me this much cheese and expect me to be excited about it. That's too much cheese.
Exactly.
That's what I imagine you sound like. And I don't think that's unreasonable at all.
Basically.
All right. Are we done here?
I think we're done.
We're winding down. I can feel it. I can feel the wind down.
I got good news though. I am finding pathing for Hollow Knight that makes it look really simple and straightforward. And nice. I'm really, really excited about it because I do honestly think that I can handle this.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games that has a clear, like it's not, okay, how do I say this? It has a clear route that you should take if you know how to find the route, if that makes any sense.
To a point, it does. There's definitely going to be a time where if you forget where certain areas are, you're going to have a bad time. But I'm not going to forget, and I'm going to have a grand old time. Because
you never forget things.
The worst part is going to be Crystal Peak, like by a long shot, just because that one's a difficult platforming area.
Makes sense.
Still, though. Yeah, thanks for listening this week, everyone. Check in next week, where I am going to be a Hollow Knight speedrunner. Definitely not going to be, but, I can still dream, can't I?
I can dream, damn it.
Yeah. Follow the podcast, the Off the Air on Twitter, Off the Air on Patreon. I know Jackson and I were talking about, I know I say this every single month, and I'm definitely just a big fat liar who lies. But Jackson and I actually were unironically talking about getting some bonus stuff up there soon because he has to practice with video editing for school. And what better way to do that than doing like
make your own content.
Exactly, like a monster prom thing or something like that. Like this, there's things that we can do.
He did the prom. He did a monster prom. A monster prom.
Exactly. We got options here. So we'll get something working.
Nice. I believe in the us that believes in us.
Dan, High sent this in as his June thing.
He did. He did send it in as his June thing.
Do you know what it is?
That is a true thing that he did. I do. I do know what it is.
All right, as long as you don't forget.
I'm gonna make you send it to me again because it's not June yet. This won't be a June episode.
I'm aware. I was going to forget, so instead now that I know you know, I can put it in the shout out channel so that I don't forget.
Yeah. Yes, that is correct. You can do that.
All right. Thanks everyone. Good listening. Can't wait to talk again next week. Now when I will have finished not only my speed run of Hollow Knight, but Mass Effect 3.
I'm excited. Bye.